We got another wrestling tier list for you today. We're going to be looking at WWE stars who went to AEW after it was formed. So no Cody, no, he's really the only example I had in my head before this. But, you know, besides the point, there's probably going to be a couple missing people. And I'm sorry if I forego somebody. That sucks. I tried to just put in as many as I could remember. I even looked up stuff and whatnot. But I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get right to it. Make sure you subscribe. We are almost at 500 subscribers. So please, oh please, if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. We're going to kick it off with 2.0. Cool Hand Ange and Daddy Magic. Matt Menard and Jeff Parker, I believe, are their names. They were Everrise and NXT. They came to AEW. They were kind of just like generic tag team. I believe they teamed with Daniel Garcia. They were 2.0. It was a nice opportunity for them to go to AEW after they got released during the pandemic, I believe it was. I believe Matt Menard had a kid on the way, so it was really nice of Jericho to like recommend them to AEW, and that's really nice. So the story behind it is nice if I got all my facts in order. So yeah, but they just feel, before they joined the Jericho Appreciation Society, they just kind of felt like a generic tag team. Like, they're fun, very charismatic, promos were good. But they felt a little bit basic. But then when they joined the Chris Jericho Appreciation Society, the Jericho Appreciation Society, over 9 weeks of sports, entertainers, or whatever the hell. That intro was good. That was class intro. They haven't done much. I won't put them in great. They did have that match with Sting and Darby, where Sting got put through the table, and he got right back up. That was a really cool moment. Cool moment for 2.0 to wrestle Sting in Sting's first match back on TNT in like 20 years or whatever that was. I got to see that match live, so that was really cool. But other than that, you know, they're kind of just like, they're good at being entertaining and good at talking, but really other than that, there's nothing too much going for them. Maybe they'll crack down on 2.0 after the JAS stuff ends, and maybe they'll be a serious tag team. I'm going to put them in fine. I'd say probably bottom of fine, middle of fine, around there. But speaking of, I was going to say fine, but that makes me sound like I'm flirting with Adam Cole, which low-key, he's a handsome boy, but we got Adam Cole, baby. Now, it's been a bit of a rocky run. Debuted, surprisingly, at the end of All Out 2021. Very cool. He immediately was like hanging out with his buddies, Kenny and the Bucks. And Full Gear had a great Falls Count Anywhere, like Tornado 6-man, Jungle Express versus the Bucks and Adam Cole. Very fun match. I love that match. I feel like it's like an underrated AEW pay-per-view match. And went on to challenge Hangman a couple times for the AEW title, lost those attempts, kind of reformed the Undisputed Era, Undisputed Elite in AEW, and then he got injured at Forbidden Door in that Fatal 4-Way, and it seemed like they were going to go towards the Elite versus Undisputed Era kind of feud. That would have been interesting, but his injury kept him on the shelf for almost about a year, a little under, I believe, maybe a little over. I think it was a little under. And so that really derailed him. People were not really happy with Adam Cole's booking, but now, the past few months, he has been on fire. It definitely has picked up. Now he is going into the main event of All In, the biggest pro wrestling show ever, and he's main eventing that thing with his bro Chat Show, MJF. The story's been good. The weeks of them going to restaurants and trampoline parks and playing video games, it's been lovely stuff. Just the past few months alone is enough to put him probably like bottom of great. But considering I did like all of his earlier stuff too, the debut was fantastic. Has he hit like the high point that was NXT Adam Cole? Probably not, but then again, that was like, what, like 2.5, 3 years or so? Maybe time's just escaping me. So maybe give it another year and Adam Cole probably might reach that. Maybe he'll win the AEW title. I would not be disappointed if he won All In. There's a good chance he might. I'm going to put Adam Cole bottom of best. He's probably very, very top of great, but Adam Cole in AEW has been some just good stuff. And now we have Andrade El Idolo. Had a interesting debut. Vicky Guerrero was there, and she introduced him. I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting pairing. I kind of, I think the pair of Vicky and Andrade honestly kind of works a little bit. But then it just kind of didn't really go anywhere. I know there was a pay-per-view match. I believe it was him and Malachi versus Cody and somebody. I can't even remember who it was. And just his booking was just kind of messy. I know he had a feud with Pac, I believe, for a little bit. They had a fun triple threat match with Sammy defending the TNT title against him and Pac. Fun triple threat match. I believe that was on Rampage. And just kind of not really being booked. I believe an injury kept him on the shelf for a while. But then since Collision started up a few months ago, he's been brought back, feuded with House of Black, won his mask back against Buddy Matthews in a fantastic ladder match. That was a nice feud. But since he won his mask back, he's been just gone. Not going to be at All In, I don't think. So far, not advertised for All Out. They still only have like 2 matches planned for that. So it's been a bit of a rocky road. I wouldn't say it's trash because we've seen some good stuff from him, but nowhere near as good as, Andrade and NXT, and hell, even kind of main roster Andrade. It's just very up and down booking. I would say just slightly out of trash. It could definitely be better, but I don't think it's a huge waste. I think he still can't get back on track. We've seen since the Collision debut, he can have a purpose and have good stories, and he is a good wrestler, so yeah. Andrade could be better. Yeah, we're going to move on to Arya Daivari. I believe he is in Ring of Honor now and also works as a producer for AEW, I want to say, sort of recently. But he was mainly in WWE on the 205 Live brand and kind of was just like generic heel for 205. I know he challenged Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight Championship at Money in the Bank 2019. I believe I got that date and pay-per-view right. I don't know. But he came to AEW, and, he was like, I'm richer than everybody. I think that was his gimmick. He's kind of in the same boat. It's like, generic guy. I think he can maybe have more creativity, I guess, with like maybe some promos and character work he does. But I think he's mainly there just to be like kind of enhancement talent, and also he's doing stuff backstage. So I don't want to say it's trash. I guess I can maybe put him in fine, because, yeah, but since he hasn't really done anything of note, just as an on-screen persona, I'm going to put him in trash. Not saying that he is, but he's done really kind of nothing important on our screens. Now we're moving on to Arn Anderson. He's got the Glock. He's got that weapon. He's going to pull it out, and he's going to pull the trigger. And you know what? Arn Anderson has been fun on AEW programming. His kind of partnership with Cody was okay. Nightmare Factory was kind of like his coach, or they called him something. I don't know. I think he had like a special term for him. But I believe he's also a coach for AEW backstage. So that's good. I'm sure a lot of people can learn from Arn Anderson. And then he kind of went to Wardlow. Then Wardlow lost the TNT title, and then now I guess he's back with Brock Anderson, his son. He was on Collision recently. I don't know what they're currently doing now with Arn Anderson, but I think his role is primarily backstage stuff and whatnot. But whenever he's on screen, he's a delight. I'll put him in fine. I think he serves his purpose well. I'd probably even put him keep him under 2.0, because he's not on screen too often. But, he's fine in what he's doing in AEW. I don't think it's like a letdown or nothing. He's not going to wrestle, obviously. He's just doing what he can, and I'm sure he's a big help backstage. Now we got Athena. In NXT, I loved Ember Moon, and I thought her NXT Women's Championship run was a bit short, but Shayna Baszler had a killer run, so you know what? Some good came from her losing that title. Then she went to the main roster, got injured due to 24/7 championship stuff, which that's just a damn shame that she was ever in that kind of like that division. I guess you could say the 24/7 title had its own little division of people that weren't getting booked. So hey, chase after R-Truth and Carmella and all them. But yeah, when she came back, I believe she went to NXT, formed a fun tag team with Shotzi, lost the women's tag titles, moved. I believe Shotzi got called up, but Ember stayed in NXT, then got released, which is strange because Ember Moon was class. But now she went to AEW, returned to her original name, Athena, and she is just like possibly maybe better than Ember Moon. I feel like she's more serious, more like she just seems like she's having fun, breaking porcelain dolls and whatnot. She is, I believe, still the current ROH Women's Champion. She recently defended it, I think, against Willow Nightingale. I'm not 100% sure. I don't keep up with Ring of Honor too much. I try to. But yeah, she challenged Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. Unsuccessful. But hey, she's been, like I said, Ring of Honor champion for the women's division. So she hasn't been on AEW too much. But I do think at least she's getting to do stuff. I'm sure she's wrestling almost weekly. And she's getting to do what she loves. in a way that she's enjoying. So yeah, I'm gonna put her in fine because I don't think she's had any big AEW like moments quite yet. I think if or when she loses the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, maybe she'll go to Dynamite or Collision and have a more prominent role there. But for now, I'm gonna put her in fine. And now we got Big Bill, formerly Colin Cassidy, Big Cass with Enzo. SAWFT. He was in Impact as W. Morrissey. Showed up on AEW a bit while he was still in Impact. Then, I believe, his contract ran out for Impact. And then, quite quickly after that, he showed up in AEW. I believe they called him... I think they called him still, like, something Morrissey or whatever. And then they changed his name just kind of out of nowhere to Big Bill. And you know what? I'm on the Big Bill bandwagon. In that Battle Royal at Double or Nothing, he kicked ass. His tag team with Brian Cage, he kicked ass. And now, recently on Collision, he's going to be Ricky Starks' like, big war at your door kind of thing, or whatever Ricky Starks said. I love Big Bill. He hasn't done really much of anything, but the things he has done have been really fun. He even had a triple threat with, I believe, Trent Beretta, and I don't know who else was in that triple threat, but it was a lot of fun. I love what Big Bill's doing. I'm not going to put him in great, because, he's only been... Oh yeah, he also did the Firm stuff, but no one remembers the Firm, not even MJF. I'm going to put Big Bill top of fine, probably with Athena, because I've loved everything he's done since actually being signed with AEW. And I think, you know what, a few more just fun matches and him being super cool, and he seems like a nice dude now. He's got his life in order. He just seems so chill. Chill Big Bill. I'm putting him in fine. If I was, like, taking it really, like, opinionated, I put him in great. Honestly, I love what Big Bill's doing. We're gonna move on to Paul White, formerly The Big Show. He did a lot in WWE. He was there for a while. And it was kind of a shock when he decided to be like, all right, I'm done with WWE. Let's go to freaking AEW. That felt so random. Probably one of the more random signings from AEW. He's mainly been a commentator. I'm sure he's been doing some stuff backstage. He's wrestled a handful of matches. I believe he wrestled Ricky Shane Page. I hope I got that name right. On an episode of Dark. I think he wrestled a handicap match on an episode of Dark or Dark Elevation. He wrestled QT Marshall at All Out 2021, which was like probably the only dud on that whole show, but still it was fine. It was quick, and I low-key kind of enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a waste of time. It was there, and it was all right. But other than that, I'm sure people probably expected more, like, oh, we're going to see Big Show versus whoever, but he's kind of just been chilling. I guess I can put him in could be better. There's really no reason to. I think he's okay in what he's done, but he just hasn't, I don't know. They got the rights to Captain Insano, I believe, and they were working on bringing that character back. He did it for, like, the acclaimed music video for Keith Lee and Swerve, I think. And, it just, I don't know. It's a weird position Paul White's in, because like he's good at what he's doing, but like from what we've seen, he hasn't done much. So I guess could be better. Maybe he could be doing more. We know Mark Henry's doing It's Time for the Main Event stuff on Rampage, and he seems like he's having a lot of fun anytime someone posts backstage interviews or videos with Mark Henry. So yeah, let's just move on to Mark Henry right now. Another kind of random signing. There's still potentially a case for another last match for Mark Henry. I don't think he shot down the idea entirely, but I'm going to put him right with Big Show, because, like, sure, I guess I could put them both in fine, because it's whatever. Since Big Show's actually wrestled, I'll put him in could have been better. Since Mark Henry on the fence, he seems like he's having fun, and I wish nothing but the best for the guy. So if he's having fun, and he's doing his roles well, I mean, I guess I just got to put Mark Henry in fine. But now we're moving on to Billy Gunn. He brought the Guns into the spotlight, I guess. The Gun Club, they were mainly on Dark, but they picked up so many wins. I think at one point they had like 80-something wins. Then Billy Gunn moved on to the Acclaimed, started the Acclaimed versus the Guns feud. That was fun. Scissor Me Daddy Ass. That's been a huge success. The trio of Billy Gunn, Max Caster, and Anthony Bowens has been a huge success. Foam scissors, posters galore, Scissor Me Daddy Ass. Now they're doing a retirement angle where like Malachi Black whispered in his ear, took off the boots, and they're like, "Oh, Billy, we miss you. Goodbye, Billy." But I'm sure they're gonna do something with the trios titles for All In or All Out. Should be fun. Billy Gunn has been fantastic. I I wasn't watching WWE, obviously, because it was before I was born, when DX were in full swing with Road Dogg, X-Pac, Billy Gunn, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and all of them, China as well. So I didn't get to see Billy Gunn, I guess, quote, in his prime, but the highlights I've seen, I get the gist of what he was doing. I love the Acclaimed trio, and I'm going to say, I think Billy Gunn's stuff here, character-wise and just on-screen-wise, much more enjoyable. I've been way more entertained. I loved what Billy Gunn has done in AEW. I believe he's also a coach as well. I love Billy Gunn. I could put him probably in best. He has wrestled as well. He's like close to 60 years old. He looks in great shape. Honestly, there's nothing I can say that would take him out of the best. He's done so well. He's almost had like a glow up in a sense in AEW. I don't know why. Just something about his aura in AEW just makes him shine. Like if he were to win the International TNT whatever championship, I would have no issue with it. I know a lot of people be like, oh, he's like near 60, man. What about the younger guys? If he had a short 1 month run with the TNT title, I would not say a word. I would be so happy. We're going to move on to Bobby Fish and what potential Bobby Fish had. He was done frying fish in NXT, got released during the pandemic, I want to say. I think it was like right when NXT 2.0 launched, so slightly after the pandemic. And he teamed up with Kyle, then they teamed up with Adam Cole. Red Dragon was back. They had a fun triple threat tag match at Revolution. The Bucks, Jungle Express or Jurassic Express, and Red Dragon. Fun match. Then we had the heel turn with Adam Cole, Red Dragon turning on the Bucks. And then there's some comments made. Then he let his contract expire. I don't think he got released, but I think he just was like, all right, I'm out. And then, there were reports that he tried to get Adam Cole and Kyle to be like, hey, ditch your contracts, let's go to WWE again. And they're like, nah, Bobby, we're fine. Who knows if that's real or not? I don't know. I don't believe everything, but due to the remarks that he's made, it kind of wouldn't surprise me too much. But he had some fun matches. He had a match with CM Punk. He had a couple other fun matches. He had a match with Jeff Hardy in the Owen Cup, kind of like qualifier section of the tournament. I don't want to say trash because he was able to show some of his skills off because we didn't really see him as a singles guy in NXT. He was really just like a part of Undisputed Era. Probably the least enjoyed member of Undisputed Era for many. So he got to flex his muscles a bit. I'm going to go could have been better. I feel like if he would have just stayed and chilled out and waited for Cole to come back, things would have gone a little bit better for Bobby Fish. I'm going to put him in could have been better. I won't say trash. The way he acted and professionalism, maybe could put him in trash. But honestly, I think he can stay out of it just by a little bit. And we got Brody Lee, rest in peace. We all remember the Cody Rhodes squash match. Then we remember the awesome dog collar match. I was a huge fan of Luke Harper in WWE. I thought super underrated, especially toward the 2017 section where it was like, oh, they could do Orton, Wyatt, and Harper for the WWE title. That'd be fun. But they didn't go that route. And instead he was, I don't know. I know he was just probably sitting at home for a good chunk of his contract, which was a bummer. But he finally got to go AEW. Sadly, it was during the pandemic. He was the Exalted One. Really helped Dark Order before they were just the weird goons and the creeps or whatever Evil Uno and Stu Grayson called them. But he really saved Dark Order from being a weird group of I don't want to watch this, to making them entertaining and fun lads, and also an evil presence because they did beat the crap out of Cody and they smashed the TNT title. But yeah, it was good fun. It just, I wish it would have lasted longer, but obviously things happen that you can't control. For his not even year run he had with the company, he was able to he felt like a star. He challenged for the AEW title, and like I said, the Cody Rhodes stuff was great. Just sucks, how things happen. But yeah, I think if he was still going today, man, he'd probably be AEW champion by now, and I fully believe that. So yeah, Brody Lee going in the best, probably above Billy Gunn. I think he really got the shine. He felt like that guy's one of your main guys, not just, oh yeah, he's a part of this group. Cool, another WWE guy. He felt like he could have been one of the guys in AEW. We're going to move on to Bryan Danielson. He wanted to go to AEW because he wanted to bleed He wanted some thrills in his life. He loves wrestling, and that's clear every time he steps into that ring. You know this man loves wrestling. One of the best, if not, there's talks that he could be the best, and I'm not going to argue, Is he my favorite? No, but will I acknowledge his talent? 100% yes. Yes, yes, yes. Daniel Bryan has done amazing stuff in AEW, man. Has it reached Yes Movement, Eco Warrior, Daniel Bryan stuff in WWE? Maybe not really, but the BCC is really fun. His matches with Hangman, Kenny, hell, even Sammy, they had a fun match. I believe they had a 2 out of 3 falls match. He was injured during the second Blood and Guts. That sucked. But yeah, Ring of Honor Fatal 4-Way at, I think it was Full Gear 2022. He has had just stellar matches. I'm gonna say, honestly, yeah, he debuted at All Out 2021 right after Adam Cole. I don't think there's been any misses in in Bryan Danielson's AEW run. And all the media scrums, he's just like, I love listening to him talk. He seems like the nicest dude. It seems like he genuinely enjoys like all the ideas that get passed around and talking to everybody and just like, getting the spirits up around the place. I would love to hang out with Daniel Bryan for like an afternoon, or Bryan Danielson, whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna put him in the best. Clearly not the same heights as he got in WWE a couple times, but I have no complaints about the work he's done in AEW. Phenomenal stuff. We're going to move on to Buddy Matthews. And Buddy Matthews hasn't had too many singles matches. He showed up, became part of the House of Black. We're like, oh yeah, the Malachi and, Buddy Matthews, they had a little bit of a back and forth in WWE. We get why they're together. So he joined the House of Black. And House of Black's booking has kind of been up and down. Right now they're the Trios champions, so now they're kind of more prominent. They show up every other week or so, and they're spooky boys, aren't they? They're very spooky boys. But because Buddy Murphy was a little underrated in WWE. He was having banger matches on 205 Live, even on Raw. Like I said, the matches with him and Alistair were really good. And then they did him as like Seth Rollins' as like right-hand man. He was like the disciple, Murphy. And then, he got released middle of 2021, I want to say, early 2021, around there. And it was a bit of a shock because, he put on great matches. But in AEW, I kind of want more. I'm not going to put it in could be better. I'm probably going to put him in the middle of fine somewhere. Probably above 2.0. I guess top of fine because he's a champion, which is cool. He's in a badass trio, which is cool. I feel like, I don't know, when the House of Black when the House of Black is all said and done, I hope he has a killer singles run, because I still think he's slightly underrated. Like I mentioned with Andrade, that ladder match on Collision was really, really good. Very fun stuff. And so yeah, I would say low great, top of fine. Now we got Chavo Guerrero. He debuted in AEW. He was with Andrade. He had like the laptop. Andrade quickly got pissed, like, why are you interfering in my matches? And he's like, oh, haha, ooh. And then that's it. He was Andrade's guy for a bit, then dipped. Then there was reports that like Tony Khan, something about contract or da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He really did nothing in AEW. And I like Chavo, so I wish he would have done some stuff in there. So, bummer. Now you got Chris Jericho. What is there to say about Chris Jericho? He's going in the... I gotta put Danielson above Billy Gunn. Probably above Brody, too. I'd say Adam Cole has overall still just been, like, Adam Cole. Really good. So Chris Jericho, first ever AEW champion. That's a start for a good career in a company. So, there you go. He's reinvented himself numerous times. He had the Inner Circle, Jericho Appreciation Society as part of Stadium Stampede, Blood and Guts, the first Blood and Guts, and also the second Blood and Guts, too. And, you know what? Jericho, as much as sometimes his stories and feuds could get a little bit, he's been doing some great stuff, and you can't deny that. He's exactly kind of what you want in, like, a veteran figure in your company. He hasn't ruled the main event scene at all since leaving the main event scene like after losing the AEW championship. He's kind of hung around the mid-card, feuding with different guys, having his own factions, elevating guys, but also at the same time kind of having really long feuds. And, you know, it is what it is. But kind of like a Bryan Danielson comparison. Not really too many complaints. Sure, some stuff of his doesn't really hit, but I think he's been having a really great run in AEW, and we're all gonna be like, damn, you know, it's gonna be pretty sad when he ends up retiring in like the next however many years. So yeah, you got the Ocho. His Ring of Honor title run was also pretty fun. I didn't expect Jericho to win the Ring of Honor title in 2023 or 2022 whenever he won it. I think 2022 he won it. So that's pretty crazy to think about. But he's been doing great stuff in AEW. Probably put him. I've enjoyed more of Danielson and Cole stuff more than Jericho's. So we're gonna put Jericho, you know, at least in the top 3. You know, now thinking about it, Billy Gunn could probably go to great. I feel I was overstating all that. But now we got Christian Cage, one of my favorite WWE to AEW signings. Came out of retirement at Royal Rumble 2021. Very nice moment with Edge. Then lost that, obviously. Edge won that Rumble. They were like, oh, what's Christian going to do in WWE? And it's like, nope, not WWE, AEW. They hyped up his signing as, like, Hall of Fame caliber talent. And while true, a lot of people were like, oh, is it Brock Lesnar? Is it John Cena? Oh, my goodness. But no, it was Christian. So a lot of people were slightly disappointed. I was not. I've always loved Christian. One of the most underrated guys ever. One of, like, the most just underrated wrestlers in general. TNA run was great. WWE run 2009 and upward was pretty fun. 2011 especially. Tag team stuff with Edge obviously was also really good. So him and AEW, I was ready for it. And now, especially right now, the whole Jungle Boy feud, your father's dead, father figure, that stuff. Oh my god, Christian's a freaking menace. I'm putting Christian in the best. I stay tuned for every Christian promo, maybe not every match, but like anytime he's gonna be announced for TV, I'm like, all right, let's see what this man's got to say. He is the current air quotes TNT champion. It's Luchasaurus, but it's whatever. He's just funny, charismatic, Captain Charisma. He can still go. His turtleneck wrestling gear is so funny. He looks like a prick, an absolute prick, but I love him. It's like MJF. He's our scumbag. We love Christian Cage. We got Claudio Castagnoli. Again, kind of on the same line as Brody Lee, where it's like, big fan of WWE, underrated, kind of just got put in some tag teams like Tyson Kidd, The Bar, both very good tag teams, by the way. I'm not saying they weren't, but like, he should have done more. He won the U.S. title when he first debuted, and that was cool. But then kind of was just like, hey, this guy wrestles really good. We're not going to really do anything with him, but he is here. Remember, Cesaro is here. The Bar really elevated him. Him and Sheamus put on banger tag team matches for like all of the end of 2016, all of 2017, even 2018. And yeah, then Cesaro got his moment at WrestleMania, faced Rollins, then got to face Roman for the Universal Championship. That was great. It was like, all right, Cesaro's doing stuff. And then I believe he didn't get released. I believe he just let his contract and he just didn't resign. Went to AEW after replacing Bryan Danielson. I keep trying to call him like Daniel Bryanson. And, fought Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. Very cool, very fun match. Like that week or the week after, competed in Blood and Guts. Just already kind of pushing like huge positions in AEW. And he is still the current Ring of Honor champion. Beat Jericho for it. End of 2022, beginning of 2023, I want to say. And has held that title ever since. I don't even know when the hell he could lose the thing. I low-key thought Pac was going to beat him at the last Ring of Honor show. But no, he hung on to that thing. Claudio has been doing great stuff. Part of the BCC. I love the BCC. I feel like I would enjoy more single stuff from Claudio, which is kind of like the Ring of Honor thing. But like I said, I don't keep up with Ring of Honor too much. But I think he's been doing great. I won't put him in best. I'll probably put him a smidge above Billy Gunn. I think the fact that he's been put in one of the more prominent roles in the company is really good, and he really deserves it. So yeah, we're going to move on. Oh boy. We got CM Punk. Already, we got to put him in best. Yes, we're not going to dive into the backstage reports and the potential politicking and getting people possibly banned from Collision and whatnot, all the elite stuff. On screen, he came back, huge moment, made a man cry. Hell, you know, I didn't cry, but I felt a lot of emotions going on. Then had a stellar, like, 1 year of, like, from 2020, summer of 2021 to summer of 2022 was, like, pretty good. Darby match, first match back in 7.5 or so years, amazing. And then you got Eddie Kingston match, Full Gear, amazing. MJF dog collar match, amazing. Even some Dynamite matches with, like, Matt Sydal, Lee Moriarty, the one with MJF in Chicago, the one with Sting and Darby against FTR and MJF, fun stuff. Him and Moxley versus FTR, I think that's who they fought, but that match was really fun. And then beat Hangman for the title. That's, like, iffy, but I was happy to see him win a world championship because I'm a big CM Punk guy. And then he got injured, sadly, and then came back. Weird little couple week program with Moxley, which was okay. Had the bleed, or I'm afraid you're gonna bleed all over me promo. Won the title. Then the brawl out stuff happened. Now he's back. He's Collision guy. He has all his colliders rallied up. Now he gets booed quite a bit, but, you know, you can't help but kind of still love the guy. He's the real world champion. It's CM Punk. Of course he's going to be at the top of everything they're doing. I still think, he might be above Adam Cole, I think. Only because Adam Cole's NXT run was fantastic. Punk's WWE run was great, especially the year-long WWE title reign, even though it wasn't treated like a proper WWE championship title run. It was still an accomplishment, you know, so that's good. But CM Punk, obviously, you know, marketing-wise and revenue-wise, he's done quite a bit. You know, he's helped push AEW over the 1 million viewer mark on a couple of occasions. You know, board of directors or whoever at Warner Brothers call him One Bill Phil, you know, so it's like, he's been doing some good work, obviously. Sure, he comes with his problems, but damn, what a good AEW run he's been having, though. You can't deny it. Besides, you know, take all the backstage stuff out of it. Some pretty good stuff. The match at Forbidden Door with Kojima, actually pretty fun. I didn't think I was going to care about it. Probably one of my favorite matches of the night at Forbidden Door 2. Now we got Dustin Rhodes, a natural, showed up at Double or Nothing, AEW's first, like, official pay-per-view since becoming AEW, and had a great match with Cody. Then kind of just was like, hey, I'm Cody's brother. Nightmare Factory, yada yada. Did some stuff with QT Marshall and Butcher and Blade. I think they had, like, a bunkhouse brawl match, I think it was called. That was bloody and fun. And he's just kind of off and on. Again, kind of like a Daivari character, except more notable, like, mainly to put people over. He does Canadian Destroyers in his matches, which is like, go Dustin, way to go. He's taken way more seriously in AEW than he was in WWE because he was, like, you know, Gold Dust. So, you know, with the gimmick comes the reactions. He doesn't really have a gimmick. He's more like, you know, I'm a veteran. I'm respected. Here I am fighting again. So I'm going to put him in fine. I mean, there could be a case made for around, like, bottom of great, or hell, even top of could have been better. But I think he's just somewhere in the middle. It's been fine. I'll put him above Arn and 2.0, I guess, because at least, like, he's treated seriously. Like, when you see Goldust on screen, you're like, oh, he'll probably lose this match and be funny. But when you see Dustin, it's like, he'll lose this match because he's, you know, a veteran, but he can go, and we get to see him showcase his talents without being super duper goofy. So I guess that's a plus, depending on who you are. So we're going to move on to FTR. Accomplished a lot in NXT and on the main roster, despite some of the booking choices of the tag division in WWE's, like, you know, kind of tag landscape in 2017, 2018, around there. You know, I don't know. They are one of the best tag teams in the world right now, and of probably all time, no doubt about it. Something about their AEW run just kind of doesn't hit. It seems like they're only really, like, featured when they're the tag champs or talking about the tag titles. Like, they had the great match with the Young Bucks, Full Gear 2021, or really, I believe it was 2020. And then, they had another match with the Bucks on an episode of Dynamite. They were a part of the Pinnacle with MJF, Shawn Spears, and Wardlow. They had Tully Blanchard with them for a bit. And then they had a match against the Lucha Bros, I believe, at Full Gear 2022. 2021, I think it was. Yeah, Full Gear 2021. I can't remember any like specific storylines though. Like the Pinnacle took up a good chunk of their early days after like the Bucks feud. I don't know. It's just something about it hasn't been hitting for me. They've been on Collision a lot with their boy CM Punk, doing some fun trios matches on there. They're gonna, I mean, I guess I gotta put them bottom of best because they are probably in one of the biggest tag team matches ever coming up at Wembley Stadium All In. The third match in the series with the Bucks. Who's the greatest tag team of all time? I'm rooting for the Bucks. By the way, AEW All In predictions will be coming out Friday. Whoa. We're going to move on to Jake Hager. He likes his hat. He was Jack Swagger, the All-American American. Kind of a meh in WWE. And in AEW, he's still kind of a meh, but at least he's like a funny meh. And WWE never really cared about him. I like the We the People stuff. I like that shirt, you know, with like the handprint. Put your hand over your heart and say proudly We the People. That was kind of fun, I guess, for a bit. You know, he's kind of treated more seriously in AEW before the hat stuff, at least. He was Jericho's, like, bodyguard, kinda. He was part of the Inner Circle and the JAS. He did some MMA stuff or boxing or whatever. I think it was just MMA stuff. And he was like, ooh, he's a fighter. He's a legit fighter. 2-0 or whatever it was. He had that, like, weird cage match with Wardlow, I think it was. It was, like, MMA rules and, like, they had the cage, like, the octagon thing. That was actually kind of interesting, at least to watch. He just hasn't done anything. I know he fought Jon Moxley in that empty arena match for the AEW Championship when the pandemic first hit, and they had to be like, all right, what the hell are we gonna do here? So that was at least something notable. The hat stuff is really his big moment in AEW. He's like, I like this hat, and everybody's like, yay, hat. But yeah, he's fine. Could be better. I don't know if he can do better. No offense to the guy. I'm sure he's capable of some stuff we don't know. But it's very bottom of fine. He's there to do what he is gonna do, and he does it okay. That's not really about the run. It's more about the guy, you know. But I like Jake Hager. I think he's a fun dude. Now we got Jake the Snake. He showed up in AEW, I believe, it was either late 2019 or early 2020. Did the promo with Cody. It's like, I don't want to take all the pie, just your share. Bars, that was fucking awesome. That was cold. He teamed with Lance Archer. Not really teamed, but buddied up with Lance Archer. He's his guy. He's still his guy. Shows up to ringside with Lance Archer when he's actually on AEW television. He's good in his role. His menacing, kind of like raspy, quiet voice. You know, you still kind of take him seriously. Like, if he says, I'm gonna kill you, you low-key kind of believe, like, oh god, Jake's gonna kill me, isn't he? So I feel like he's like Arn, or I'm sure he's a big help backstage when he's asked for, like, advice and whatnot. And I don't know if he's actually signed to a contract with AEW. He might just be there just to hang out with Lance, because I don't even think he's on the AEW roster. I don't think. I could be wrong. But again, I'm going to put him in could be better, only because they could utilize Lance Archer better, which would get Jake on TV more and utilize him better. But as what we've seen from Jake, I think it's been fine. He's you know, he's a promo guy for sure. You could partner him up with anybody, and it might make his client, I guess you would say, feel a lot more tough and dangerous. So yeah, maybe he needs to move on to somebody else after Lance Archer. Lance Archer is already kind of dangerous and a badass on his own. Maybe buddy him up with, I don't know, just someone. We're going to move on to Jamie Hayter. Was a part of AEW for a little bit, then went to NXT UK, I think. And then came back, and people were like, oh, who are you? You're on Rampage helping Britt Baker. Are you friends? I don't care. But then quickly, they're like, oh, no, she's pretty good. And she only got better and better, then became AEW Women's Champion. Everybody loves her, but sadly, recently, she's gotten injured. Gonna miss All In, which really, really sucks. I don't think she was intended to lose that AEW Women's Championship, but injuries happen, and that really, really blows. But probably they're tied with Toni Storm for maybe their best women's champion. In-ring wise and just like championship feel, I'm going to put her with FTR and Christian kind of in this like middle section right here of like your class. You haven't reached your full potential, and I'm sure you'll do way better things coming up. But damn, if it wasn't for that injury and she was in a good program heading into All In, she'd probably go a little bit above Christian maybe. But I'm going to put her for now bottom of best. Very, very like huge deal for the women's division in AEW. She's like a necessity. Now we have Jeff Hardy, another guy whose run with AEW's kind of been oofed, not due to injury, but due to, outside problems or whatnot. I don't want to dwell on stuff like that. But, it seems like they're trying to go for one last Hardy Boys reunion. They kind of want to win the tag titles. He came back hot and heavy. He was doing the little Jeff Hardy dance down in the ring to save his brother. And then did some Owen Hart stuff. That match with Darby Allin, holy shit. That match with Adam Cole, I got to see that live. I got to see Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole live. Aren't I a lucky boy? And then he moved on to, I believe, Double or Nothing, where he and his brother Matt fought the Young Bucks in a fun match, but it seemed like Hardy was a bit loopy and kind of wobbling throughout some of the match. If I remember correctly, it felt a little weird at times. And then they were set for a big triple threat tag match. TLC was going to be a banger for sure, but oof, then outside stuff happened that ended up just being Jungle Express or Jurassic Express. I keep forgetting their tag name. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Young Bucks in a ladder match, and that sucks. That really sucks that happened. But now he's back, and hopefully he's got his stuff together. We always hope that. We always wish for the best for Jeff Hardy, brother Nero. And he seems like he's having some fun. It seems like he was a bit wobbly at first. That kickoff match at Double or Nothing where he kind of slipped off the rope, or did he mean to slip off the rope? I don't know. But he's kind of come back to it. He had that he had that Texas Chainsaw... Oh, we'll get to his opponent. That Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, which a lot of people on Twitter hated it. They absolutely hated it, and they found out all the money that they earned from that sponsorship went to charity. The Maui wildfires and stuff. And so, okay, maybe it was worth it then. Despite charity or not charity, I am probably one of the few that actually really love that match. I do love horror movies. I love Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The film series is a bit of a mess, but I love them. So, seeing Leatherface as dumb as it was, as dumb as it was, I have a sweet spot for horror movies, especially Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that. So I loved it. Dumping the fake blood on Jeff Jarrett was funny. Satnam Singh getting pushed wherever the hell he got pushed. I think he got pushed through like a dark curtain alleyway thing. That was funny. Jeff Hardy's face paint, cool as hell. It was really stupid, but it was funny. And now they're gonna they fought the Young Bucks recently. Fun match on Dynamite. They're gonna face Aussie Open the day this video comes out, so hopefully that match is good. And yeah, I hope they do something for All Out, or I hope they're at least at Wembley. They're wrestling matches every week, so I guarantee you this is their winding down phase before they either win the titles or don't. Yeah. So Jeff Hardy, bit of a rocky AEW run. Could be better? No. I think he's done all that he's either capable of or that he's comfortable doing. He still gets his high spots in, his crazy spots in, can still hit a nasty swanton. Somewhere in fine. Above 2.0, above Dustin, slightly above Athena, a little under Athena, a little under Dustin too, I guess. Just because he's been there a lot more fresher than his brother Matt. Now, speaking of his opponent in that Texas Deathmatch Leatherface extravaganza, we had Jeff Jarrett. And now he was the TNA guy, and when he got brought into AEW, it's oh, okay, well, is he going to win everything? Is he going to go on a reign of terror? Not really. He's quite active on the roster. He has his fun theme song, Bree Woo, Bree Woo. He's teaming with Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh, and now his wife, which, fine. They're not winning any championships. They're not taking up too much TV time. Good for them. They're a fun act. I love Jeff Jarrett. I think he's very entertaining. He's where he should be. He shouldn't be winning any big titles, and he's in a good spot. Honestly, I think he's actually been quite a bit of fun. I'm going to put him in great. That might be a bit controversial depending on your thoughts on Jeff Jarrett. I see no issues with what he's done. He actually had a really good match with him and Jay Lethal against FTR at Double or Nothing. It was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but it was still pretty entertaining, especially Karen Jarrett and Aubrey Edwards getting into it on the outside. So yeah, I've enjoyed Jeff Jarrett's stuff. Now we got good old JR. Now, the thing about JR is that in the backstage interview stuff, and I'm sure, not coaching, but like, probably helping out with Tony Khan, maybe showing some of his experience backstage. JR is good in like the backstage serious interviews and sit downs and whatnot. On commentary, at times it feels like he's a little bit like, either not uninterested, but like, oh, you could tell he's like, he's done it for years. Very few times we see JR seem like really excited about what he's watching. He's good at like I said, experience, and he's called almost everything. But commentary just isn't super strong for him, as it's, I mean, he's still fun to listen to. He's an iconic voice, and I'll be happy anytime JR's on commentary, but, you know, he has the slip-ups and whatnot. It's not really about the slip-ups, it's more about the, I feel like he needs to take like a different role in AEW. I'm sure he's already prepared to do that. I'm sure he's winding down from full-time commentary. You see him popping up only on like the main event for Collision and certain matches on pay-per-views. But JR, I mean, I wouldn't say great. I would say fine. Maybe even it could be better, because like I said, I think he'd be better suited for different roles in the company. I'll put him above Mark Henry and Arn Anderson at 2.0, and slightly, I guess, above Dustin a little bit. Yeah. And now we got Jon Moxley. Now, I know he's beloved in WWE as Dean Ambrose. I know Dean Ambrose was quite beloved. The Shield were fantastic. They were great. Dean Ambrose wasn't all goofy, annoying stuff in WWE. He had really strong moments. But Jon Moxley is a different breed, and I'm so glad we have this version of Jon Moxley than WWE's version of Jon Moxley. Instead of goofy violence, it's for real maniac violence. Not over-the-top stuff. I mean, he does bleed a lot. He does love his barbed wire and his forks and whatnot, bed of nails. So it is a bit over-the-top at times, but it works. It works for him. He's done so much for AEW. He was like the biggest not legend, because Jericho, you can argue, was a legend when he came to AEW. Like, he did almost everything WWE, wrestling at that point for maybe like around 20 years or so. So yeah, you could say he is a legend. Moxley couldn't be called a legend, could be called very notable guy from WWE, now in AEW. What's he gonna do? Boy, if AEW had a Hall of Fame, he needs to be one of the first people in it after Brody Lee and Jericho. Moxley's done so much for that company. Won the title whenever it was vacated, carried that company on his back through time and times. When times got tough, he was there. I'd say slightly above CM Punk. Is he like numbers moving as CM Punk? Probably not, but he's reliable. He's really good. I don't think there's been a single Jon Moxley like feud or program that has just fallen super duper flat. His stuff with Jericho's fun. His stuff with MJF, the presidential debate kind of thing, was kind of silly, but still fun. He had a great match with Brody Lee. What else has he done? Omega at Winter is Coming. Crazy. The barbed wire death match ending was bad, but the match was still pretty fun and interesting, and I was like, wow, I haven't seen that stuff done before, since I'm not an avid, like, you know, whatever, Japan watcher, whatever the exploding barbed wire death match, like, came from. So yeah, there's not enough good things to say about Jon Moxley. Love him or hate him about, like, the whole bleeding and all that. You can't deny the stuff he's done and the amount of help he's brought to AEW. Now we got Johnny Elite / Johnny TV. He showed up for a couple matches with AEW before going back on his merry way to AAA and wherever else he was. I think he was in MLW for a bit. Then recently he came back and actually signed as Johnny TV, part of QTV, or QT Marshall's group. Aaron Solo, Harley Quinn, not Harley, I think Harley Cameron, that's her name, I think, I don't know. And while QTV, that whole thing is kind of silly, John Morrison, or Johnny Elite, Johnny TV, he has so many names. I like Johnny Elite better than Johnny TV. I hope whenever that faction splits or he leaves, I hope he goes back to Johnny Elite, even though Johnny TV ain't too bad of a name, because, you know, he's on TV, so yeah. But I love John Morrison, and I think he'll do great stuff in AEW. He's only been there officially for like about a month and a half now. So he's pretty entertaining. Recently, video on Twitter, he congratulated QT Marshall. He had his little dog with him. He came out of like a nice car. He was like, yeah. He's been doing a thing where he wants to face anybody that's been on TV. Fought Orange Cassidy. Who knows who he'll fight next? It's kind of too early to say, so I'm going to keep him in fine just as a let's see how it goes. We're going to move on to Keith Lee, and what a bumpy road it's been for Keith Lee. Most notable frustration is his feud with Swerve. The tag team, Swerve and Our Glory, was very good. Surprisingly, I thought they were going to be thrown together and not win anything, but still be fun every now and then. But they won the tag titles from the Young Bucks and had a fun run with the titles. Great trio, trio of matches with the Acclaimed, where the Acclaimed won the titles off of them. Then they did the split in late 2022, and here it is, mid-2023. They have not had a singles match. They have had encounters, like, they even did a blind tag eliminator tournament where they ended up being partners, which, okay, sure, yeah. Random drawing of partners, sure, whatever. They're not building... I think they're never gonna do it. I don't know what they're saving it for. Is it going to be like a year from now they have the match like, oh, this match is 2 years in the making? It's like, we don't care about the length. We care about how good it is. If they've been back and forth all year, and then a year from now we see them have a match like, oh, 2 years in the making, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, cool. But what the hell? You know? Keith Lee hasn't won any titles beside the tag titles, which championships don't make the run, you know. They're just like a nice... huge bonus along the way. But Keith Lee, he's gone through a couple different phases as well. The gray beard, bringing that with like the coat or the cape thing that he had, whatever it was. He teamed with Dustin Rhodes for a bit. They were like an actual tag team for like a month. Okay. Could be better. Now we got Kyle O'Reilly again. A lot of these guys have had bumpy roads. Kyle O'Reilly, I believe, is currently injured, and that sucks. He debuted toward the end of 2022. No, 2021. Forgive me. Hung out with Bobby. Did the Red Dragon Triple Threat Tag Match Revolution. Like I said, that was good. Then competed in the Owen Hart Tournament. Made it to the semifinals, I think. He beat Ray Phoenix at the show, at the Dynamite I was at. That was a really good match. I'm glad Kyle won. Deserved. Then I believe he lost to Samoa Joe. And yeah. Then he got injured after they were going to do the Elite versus... Well, not... He got injured, like, right after Adam Cole. Like, they did... Or was it right before? I don't know. Either way, he had a great match against Darby at, I believe, Double or Nothing. And then shortly after, that's when he got injured. So... It's just... with the time he's had, he's done a good amount, but since he's been injured for probably half his AEW run at this point, it's really hard to say. I'm going to put him in could be better, but not because of like, oh, his booking was terrible, but because, you know, he's injured, so obviously we want better for him, and we hope he recovers soon. So yeah, due to injury... If the injury didn't happen, his run definitely could have been better. And now we have Malachi Black. I loved Aleister Black in NXT. WWE squandered him on the main roster. Kept him behind a door. He had like a handful of matches. Then Pandemic. Then lost an eye, kind of. And then he got released after being gone for a while and attacking Big E. But then the release happened. It's like, what are you doing? What the hell? But went to AEW, very shocked debut because the contract, instead of 60 days until he can sign somewhere, non-compete clause, it was 30 days because they didn't change it. That's kind of funny. But the debut was shocking as hell. No one expected it. Attacked Cody, had a good few matches with him, squashed him, then had a nice match with him at Dynamite Grand Slam. Then they had a third match, which Cody Rhodes beat him in, and it's like, okay, I guess, whatever. And then, kind of was a bit rocky. He then kind of formed the House of Black. We got Brody King, Kings of the Black Throne. Then we had Buddy Matthews join the mix. Cool. We got the House of Black. They did that long thing with Julia Hart and the Varsity Blondes. Okay. It was kind of worth it because Julia Hart has been a great addition to the House of Black, but also that took you 9 months or 8 months or whatever, however long it was to convert her into your spooky little cult. Okay. And they won the trios titles. Cool. It's been very rocky for the House of Black. The start for Malachi was very strong, but then kind of fell off. But has recently kind of picked back up, especially that trios match with FTR and CM Punk against the House of Black. That was very, very good. Very nice. So yeah, I'm gonna say, that start was so promising. I kind of want to put it in could have been better, but he's done quite a bit and at least is active, not kept behind a door. And when he is kept behind a door, he's at least doing spooky, eye is infected promos. So top of great, above Buddy, or not top of great, actually maybe bottom of great, because he at least feels like very threatening. Nowhere near Aleister Black NXT levels of holy shit, he's amazing. But he's done good for himself. So you know what, we're putting him bottom of fine, above Jeff Jarrett, obviously. And maybe above Billy Gunn. You know, at least he's seen as a threat, and if it weren't for a couple slip-ups, I'd say very bottom of great. But I think this trio stuff has really gotten him back on track, and I hope they roll with it, because Aleister/Malachi is like my favorite dude in wrestling within the past like 10 years. I love the dude. I hope nothing but the best. Now we got Marina Shafir, was in NXT, part of the UFC 4 Horsewomen, kind of. She was with Shayna and Jessamine Duke. Didn't get to do much there. Then went in, I think she got released or whatever. Then came to AEW, was like the Problem. I think she teamed up with Vicky and Nyla Rose. Appears on Dynamite here and there. I don't want to say trash, because I feel like she has a better presence about her in AEW than in NXT. You know, because her and Jessamine wore the shirts like "Let's Play, Let's Fight" or whatever the hell's. Okay, cool, I get what. I don't want to put her in trash, but what has she done? I like her presentation more, but yeah, I don't know what to really say. I have nothing to really go off of. She has like the nice, I don't know, she needs like a total repackage, just like a silent, I'm gonna kick your ass type fighter. I think that would work best for her. I don't know. Now we got Matt Hardy. He went through a couple different stages now, didn't he? He was like broken when he debuted, then went to like kind of version 1-ish, then was like a mix, had that incident with Sammy Guevara, which was scary, and oh my god, where they, you know, took a dive off the big elevated platform and kind of hit the table, but also kind of smacked the concrete, so oof. And they ran it back in like a House of Hardy match or whatever they called it. It was like, not the final deletion, but it was something along the lines. That was fun. There was like a monster truck, I think, or something, if I remember that correctly. It's been interesting for Matt Hardy, because like then, you know, fast forward, we got the stuff with Hardy not Enterprises, but like the Hardy faction, where he had like Private Party, then he merged with Andrade, and then they beat him up, and then Jeff came out, formed Hardy Boys again. Jeff had his thing, was on his own, hung out with Isaiah Cassidy, and then I don't know, I think the Firm then bought his contract. It's just, I don't know. He's been doing stuff and he's been quite active in AEW, but like a lot of the Matt Hardy stuff doesn't hit. When he's with his brother, it's like, okay, yeah, nostalgia, they can still kind of go. But when he's on his own, they don't really know what they kind of want to do with him. So I guess, honestly, Matt Hardy probably can go and could be better. Like, either that or bottom of fine. I think since he's actively, like, if this was WWE, like, let's be real, they would have forgotten about him. He would not be booked until Jeff Hardy got back on TV, or if Jeff Hardy was there. They would have forgotten about Matt. They wouldn't have given him, like he's at least had numerous storylines. Let's give Matt Hardy some props. He's stayed relevant somewhat. So we'll put him above Jeff, above Dustin. Slightly above JR. And slightly above Athena, since she's mainly Ring of Honor. And slightly above Big Bill. And slightly, Yeah, top of fine. That seems like a good spot for Matt. Speaking of Matt, we got Matt Sydal, formerly Evan Bourne. I wasn't sure whether or not to put him on this list. His debut was silly, I think, because he did like the shooting star press in that battle royal, and he slipped, and that sucked. That was quite the debut, but I think a majority of us kind of forgot about that. But other than that, he has had different like people he was mentoring, like Dante Martin. Also, I think he was mentoring Lee Moriarty, I think. And yeah, he's very reliable. He had a great match with CM Punk, I believe, on that Rampage that kind of went head-to-head with SmackDown, I think. I think that's where that match took place. I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, he's not really, like, a notable guy there. Not really anyone they're, like, pushing or putting in numerous matches. I think he also does some stuff in Ring of Honor right now. Yeah. Fine, but probably could have been better. I did like Evan Bourne quite a bit. I loved Matt Sydal's work with Ricochet on the Indies. I think, honestly, could be better. I think they could do more stuff with Matt Sydal. I get why they're not. He's probably just comfortable in the role he's in now. I'll put him in could have been better. There's not really like a ranking in could have been better, like a placement, like, you know, in the back or in the front. So we'll just put him next to Bobby Fish. All right, now we got Mercedes Martinez. She felt really bland in NXT. I have been a Mercedes Martinez fan since what did my voice just do? But I've been a fan of Mercedes since I saw her in NXT. I thought her theme song was nice. Her cool mask and her like jacket was really cool. She never really had much to do in NXT. It was just like kind of this badass that just kicked some ass here and there, but probably took a few L's as well. She was part of Retribution before thankfully getting out of that and going back to NXT. I don't know if she got released or not. I think she did. Either that or her contract ran out. And she came to AEW. More specifically, kind of hung around the Ring of Honor scene. Won the Women's Championship in Ring of Honor. Held that for a bit before I believe she lost it to Athena. I think that's who she lost it to. I'm not sure. I want to say yeah. And now she's starting to feature more on Collision. I think she's starting to team up with Diamante, which I'm glad Diamante's getting on TV more. I'm also a fan of her. So it's been a bit of a rocky road, but hell, winning Ring of Honor Women's Championship and now being featured on like the brand new show that AEW brought and kind of like enhancing that side of the women's division, pretty good stuff. So I would have said could have been better, but in recent weeks we've seen her being featured more and also a good part of the women's division. So we'll put her in fine, above Johnny, above Jake, above Mark, above Arn. Well, maybe not above Arn, maybe slightly above 2.0. But also, she did win the Women's Championship, so that's a huge moment. So yeah, we'll put her slightly above Jeff Hardy. Hopefully more good things to come for her. All right, we got Miro. Again, another rocky start, but thanks to Collision, kind of finding his footing again. Let's start from the beginning. He was the best man, Kip Sabian. He was gamer guy. Then he was like, F you, Kip Sabian. I hate you. I'm going to break your arm or whatever he did. And then he was like TNT champion, had a great run with the TNT championship before losing it to Sammy. He was the Redeemer, you know, I'm going to serve you, my God, and then wasn't booked at all. Had like 4 matches in 2022. Now he's back on Collision, thankfully. He's like, I do not serve a God anymore, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What he said to Powerhouse Hobbs on Collision, he's like, I don't want to butcher it, but it was so fucking badass. He was like, I do not have a God, but I know you do, and you will pray to me now, or something like that. It was something like that, and it was so fucking cool. Miro's a badass. Probably very, very top of could have been better, only because how do you not have that guy on your show for like a whole year? And he did great stuff with the TNT title. Like, there's like reports that he wasn't agreeing with a lot of the story stuff and a lot of the decisions being made, and that's why he was like declining a bunch of stuff. Who knows if that's true or not? But he is like the poster boy for could be better, him and Andrade. But if we're just, you know, getting rid of all of 2022, I'd say very top of fine. But yeah, that gamer stuff with Kip Sabian, the best man, that was a bit of a weird bit for him. But other than that, everything with Miro's been great. Now we got Nigel McGuinness. I don't know why I put him on here. I guess because he was technically formerly WWE NXT commentary. He was very good at that. I love Nigel McGuinness on commentary. He has like a swagger about him, you know, the accent, the kind of like snarky remarks like, oh yeah, haha, you know, going for the heels, being like, oh no, that's smart. He's smart. And now he's one of the voices of Collision, which is awesome. I like that. Good for you, Nigel. And yeah, had a fun surprise. It was a genuine surprise when he showed up at Ring of Honor to do commentary with Ian and Caprice Coleman, I think. There's so many commentator Coles, aka just two. But either way, it's a bit still too early. I like him on Collision, so I guess really the only place to put him is like fine above Jake and Mark. I guess. I don't know. He's good. He's fun at commentary. I don't know. There's not really a prominent place to put him on this tier list, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. I like his work. Speaking of I like his work, we got Pac, the Bastard. He's one of my favorites. Sucks that it's, you know, injury and visa issues. Pandemic did not help. But when Pac's on TV, you know I'm watching. Death Triangle, fun trio. He was part of Blood and Guts recently, then walked out because he's like, wow, Claudio, you're kind of a bitch, and you're not going to tell me what to do. That was cool. And yeah, and then he got injured after Ring of Honor title match, which sucks. He's going to miss All In as well, which that really sucks. He was great as Man That Gravity Forgot in NXT, got called up to main roster in WWE, and then was fine, got injured, came back, King of the Cruiserweights. That was good. Then the Enzo stuff happened. That was bad. They made him sit at home for a while. That was really, really bad. And then he got to come to AEW and he had that great match. I believe it was either planned to be against Hangman and something happened, or it was planned to be against Kenny and something happened. I think it was him versus Kenny. Good match, and he won. Then we had the Iron Man match on Dynamite. Very good. Yeah. And then we're gonna, you know, fast forward some more, because, like, pandemic, visa issues, yada, yada, yada. His big thing after that was kind of the Death Triangle stuff. So it's been a very rocky road for Pac for numerous reasons. I don't even think it comes down to booking, too. I think Tony really likes Pac. It's just issue stuff. The vignettes with him, where there's, like, numerous of him sitting on a couch, like, so many of him, like, he's going crazy. I think that was also, like, right before his comeback, right after the pandemic kind of chilled out a bit. So, yeah, I think Pac has been great in AEW. Probably very bottom of great, only because all the issues and the stuff that has happened with injury and visa stuff. But, yeah, very bottom of great. I wish I could see more. I guess I could put him above Billy and Jeff Jarrett. But, yeah, if the visa issues weren't a thing, he'd definitely be a contender for, like, middle of best. But we got, oh boy, we got Parker Boudreaux. People called him the next Brock Lesnar. He was in NXT. They shaved his head, called him Harland. I hated that. I liked him normal as, like, Brock Lesnar 2.0. Let's see what he can do, this young upstart. But they made him a weird, like, vest-wearing, I'm gonna beat people up. But, like, he was with Joe Gacy, I think. His NXT run was very weird. Not the direction I thought they were going to go with him. But then he showed up in AEW. We're like, okay, wrestled on Dark a bit. Yeah, he's still a bit new, so let's see what he does. Not really many signs of improvements. Okay. Then he teamed up with Trench and Swerve, a part of the Mogul Embassy. No, not Mogul Embassy. Mogul Affiliates, I think. Something like that. And I was like, okay, this could be interesting. Then Trench was never seen again. Parker, again, not really super great in the ring, and now he's part of the Trustbusters with, I believe, Sonny Kiss and Daivari. I don't even know if that group's still a thing, I'm going to be real with you. Also, Slim J, I think, is his name. The guy with, like, the tank top. Yeah. Putting him in trash, sadly. You know, again, it might be more of the talent and not the booking and the matches and feuds and stuff. I don't know. I feel bad, you know, because he's still fairly new. He's only been going at this for probably about a couple years now. So I don't want to be harsh on the guy. But nothing is nothing, and I'm sorry for putting you in trash. But now we got Renee Paquette. Very fun interviewer. I loved her as Renee Young in WWE. She was nice. She just did everything she needed to do as an interviewer. Even switched to commentary, which I did not mind her on commentary at all. Sure, it was 2019 WWE though, so I wasn't watching very much. But she seemed fine on commentary. I know that the whole thing with Vince yelling in her ear, yada yada. Left WWE not too long after Moxley dipped from WWE, I want to say. And kind of just did her own stuff, worked on her own projects. She has her podcast I listen to quite a bit. And then also some cooking stuff. And now she's back on our wrestling screens in AEW as Renee Paquette. I believe that's like her actual name. And yeah, fun interviewer. Her and Orange Cassidy. I love the bit where like, I'm so tired, Renee. It's like, me too, bud, me too. Her and RJ City are a great pairing together when they do some kickoff show stuff. I love Renee Paquette. I think she's wonderful at her job. Honestly, like, she's just doing what she's doing. One of the best in the company, I guess you could say. I mean, what else is there to, like, I can't be like, oh, she didn't do this well, so I gotta bring her down the grate. It's like, no, she does everything she needs to. Put her in best. Shit, I don't know what to tell you. We got Roderick Strong. Now, Roderick Strong, I had my doubts, because, like, oh, new guy that we loved in NXT come to AEW. They have a very, very strong start, but then kind of get lost in the shuffle. Roderick immediately had that Falls Count Anywhere match with Jericho in the Adam Cole feud. Very fun Falls Count Anywhere match. We're very creative. Ended up outside. I love when Falls Count Anywhere matches actually, like, go places. And yeah, it was very fun. And then just had a handful of okay matches. I believe was in the Owen Hart Cup. Got injured by Samoa Joe. Had the neck brace, and now he's like the very, very awkward third wheel in the MJF Adam Cole storyline. He's like, oh, you're my best friend. I just want to do what's best for you. He's a snake. Don't trust him, Adam. And he's like, he just seems like a whiny little guy. And at first I'm like, oh, this is bad. But now I feel like they're actually playing into it, and like, at least I'm hoping. And I'm hoping like we're supposed to think, oh, Roddy's acting like a bitch. Oh, this is just his character. Come on, Roddy. But then he just snaps into something fucking nuts. Turns heel on Adam Cole, or maybe I feel like that's where that has to go, honestly. Like, what is Roderick gonna do? Just be like, it's okay, Adam, I forgive you, even though you made me look like a fucking asshole on TV every week. I don't know what they're gonna do with Roderick Strong. The past couple weeks have had me worried about what they're gonna do. A Roderick Strong in the Kingdom faction wouldn't be the worst thing. I'm here for it. So it is still fairly early on. I'll say let's give it some time. For now, bottom of fine with Johnny TV. I'll put him above because at least he's done some notable stuff. No offense to QTV and the gang, but your stuff isn't technically really like notable stuff. Yeah. So we got Ruby Soho. Debuted at All In. Oh, I keep on wanting to say All In because All In's coming up. But All Out 2021, won that Battle Royal. Fought Britt Baker at Grand Slam. Lost. Sad. Got to the finals of the TBS Championship Tournament, lost to Jade, sad. And then, oh yeah, got to the finals of the Owen Hart Cup Tournament, lost to Britt, sad. That sucked. That was 2022. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what she was up to from mid-2022 to early 2023. I'm gonna be real, I can't think. Oh, she had the stuff with Ty Conti. Had her nose messed up, or Ty Mello, I guess I should say. Then had the surgery, came back, yada yada. Worked her way back into kind of a storyline between the Outcast and the AEW homegrowns, I guess you could say. And then ended up turning heel at Revolution and joined the Outcast, her Saraya and Tony Storm. So yeah, and the Outcast stuff I've noted before, I'm not too big on it. I like all three ladies individually, but together doing the spray paint and the loser, it just, I don't know, man. I'm not super there for it. But I do like Ruby Soho a lot. I think she's great. But she's being featured almost every other week or so. She's in like one of the more focused on women's like groups and factions, I guess you could say. So, I mean, although AEW's women's division isn't great booking wise, the talent's great, but like, uh, you know, booking wise and like stories and how often they're featured, while it isn't great, she is a big part of it. So I guess that means something. But she has lost a lot, and I get why Jade should have beaten her, but I think you could have made a case for maybe having her beat Britt at Grand Slam, and also maybe beating Britt for the Owen Hart Cup. So top of fine. A couple of like, ooh, I don't know about that. But other than that, she's been doing pretty good. And now we have Samoa Joe. Came to AEW, Owen Hart Cup stuff. Got to the finals, lost Adam Cole. Adam Cole's the guy you're really like trying to get behind. So I kind of get Joe losing to him. Sure. And, also Britt won earlier in the night. I believe her match was the first one at Double or Nothing. So I get they want to do Britt and Adam. Yeah. But Samoa Joe's been on a tear. He did disappear for a bit because he was filming Twisted Metal, which, by the way, go watch it. It's really, really good. He's fantastic as, oh my god, I forgot his name. It's like Sweet Tooth, something like that. Oh my god, I'm blanking. But the show's really good. Take my word for it. Just because I forgot, doesn't mean it's bad. But yeah, he had the fun TNT stuff with Darby. I think they had 3 matches, and each match was just like better and better, and just really fun. Kind of had the oof stuff with Wardlow, where the matches were okay, but like Wardlow's TNT title runs were something else, aka not very good. But yeah, then he was Ring of Honor champion at the time. He called himself King of Television. Good stuff. Destroyed people in Ring of Honor. Good stuff. Currently, right now, Ring of Honor, he's doing stuff with Stokely Hathaway, and it's very, very funny. Good stuff. So Samoa Joe, yeah, awesome. Also, Owen Hart Cup again, loses again. This time not in the finals, but I believe the semifinals. And he lost to CM Punk via roll-up. And that's like, ooh. And now they're going to have a big match at Wembley Stadium for the Real World Championship. Ooh. Really not too many complaints about Samoa Joe's AEW run. I think I could put him comfortably right under Claudio. I think Claudio's still been featured more. Joe, obviously, he's mainly on Ring of Honor, but also featured still quite heavily on AEW stuff. So it's like a kind of a win-win. You don't see him, but he's doing good stuff. And when you do see him, he's still doing good stuff. So, you go, Joe. And now we have Saraya. I'll keep all my notes about the Outcasts. I like all of them separately. But the L loser spray paint stuff, not a big fan. Saraya turned heel way too quickly. She just came back, and they're like, wow, Saraya's back, yippee. Had the match with Britt Baker, and people were like, oh, that wasn't super good. But, she just came back, so we'll cut her some slack. And it was like, oh, the fans turned on me, and I'm mad now. And she was like the big advocate for let's make the women's division a better place. And I was all for it. If she was that character that didn't even wrestle too often, but was like, I'm here to advocate for women's booking and more matches for the women's division on AEW, I would have been fine for that. It would have been like slightly like a general manager, but also just like a team leader that was like, oh, I hate the bad guys, but I want to see them wrestle because women's wrestling is good. I would have been fine with that. But then they turned her heel, and now she has her own faction, and it is what it is. She'll be in Wembley. She'll be in a Fatal 4-Way match for the Women's Championship. Out of the 4 women in that match, Britt, Toni, Hikaru Shida, and Saraya, I would say, although I'm sure it'd be a feel-good moment winning it in her home land, her home country, I don't want to see Saraya win. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to see Hikaru Shida win and retain, because she just won it a month ago. But if not Hikaru Shida, I'd like to see Toni Storm win, because she's been doing good stuff. But they're gonna give it to Saraya, aren't they? Yeah, they're gonna give it to Saraya, aren't they? But yeah, booking-wise overall, hasn't been hitting. Definitely could have been better, but she's still doing okay. We're gonna move on to Shawn Spears, the chairman. Yeah, I love the chairman gimmick. I loved when he came to AEW, whacked Cody over the head, And although it was like, oh, hey, whoa, buddy, that was like too harsh of a chair shot. I think he got like yelled at backstage. Whatever. I liked badass, straightforward Shawn Spears, but then he wasn't featured very heavily. He got paired up with Tully Blanchard. Then he was in the Pinnacle. And, also was in Blood and Guts, I think, the first one. Stadium Stampede, the thing where he was like banging the chair off the floor. That was silly and kind of funny. I can't tell you any other things Shawn Spears has done. He has been buddy-buddy with MJF in the Wardlow feud. Then he dipped. I know him and Peyton Royce did have their firstborn, so congratulations. So that he probably took some time off to go be a dad. I'm sure he's getting paid well. I know he's tweeted on Twitter numerous times that, hey, he's got, hot wife, a lot of money, haha, beautiful family. Good for him. If he's happy, he's happy. Epic. But I think I could put him in the same boat as like a Matt Sydal, where I get why they're kind of not pushing him. They have more people they kind of want to, work on. But I just feel bad because I like Shawn Spears, and I hope that he gets just at least be on TV. It's very sporadic appearances for the guy. So definitely could be better. You can maybe even argue trash, because the amount of stuff he has done, he's kind of always been in the background. Pinnacle, background of that group. MJF Wardlow storyline, he was kind of funny, like hyping up Wardlow, but still kind of the background. So yeah, it is what it is for Shawn Spears. I think I'm going to put him in could be better. I hope things do get better. Now we got Sting. It's Sting. I think he has been booked in AEW low-key perfectly. He isn't on TV every week. When he's like announced for a match, it's like, oh shoot, Sting's wrestling, let's go. You can't get burnt out on Sting matches. He does a couple crazy spots per match. It's like, damn, Sting, you were like not supposed to be wrestling a couple years ago, and now here you are jumping off of like balconies through tables and shit. You go, man. Putting Sting in the best. Everything that he's done has been nice. Kind of must see. I'm sure, like, your Darby and Sting versus whoever, like Hardy family Andrade group. I'm sure that wasn't like must see for people, but it was like still entertaining as hell. Now he's gonna be at Wembley. Coffin tag team match with him and Darby against Swerve and Fox. That'll be good. WWE just did not. I mean, yeah, it wasn't technically their fault that they cut his run short, but like he did get pretty banged up and had to retire. So yeah, but also they had him lose to Triple H, and we're gonna have him lose to Rollins, and then hell, probably have him lose another match down the line. I don't know, but it is what it is. Sting in AEW, though, looking back at the bright side, Sting has been fantastic. Tony Schiavone, it's Sting. Sting doing a bit of his Joker shtick with Prince Nana in that video package. He's like, oh, I'm so lonely, like singing. Sting is just fantastic. Let's bump him up. Actually, no, he's fine right here. He's like special appearance. Now we got Stokely Hathaway. Kind of moved more to a Ring of Honor role right now. I think he's like one of the ambassadors. I don't know what his official title is. But when he showed up, I believe it was at Revolution, I think. I want to say, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was Double or Nothing. I don't know. But he was the manager for Jade. And Stokely's just so damn funny, dude. I wish he was on TV more often rather than just Ring of Honor. If he was like a general manager for like Collision, that would be so damn funny. I love the guy. He was still pretty funny in NXT, but he was like in the Diamond Mine thing, and that Diamond Mine was okay. Now it's actually pretty good with like Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile. Cool. Nice little trio. But he's done some great stuff in AEW. Like the stuff with Hook, where he had the wrestle Hook. Dude, I love Stokely Hathaway. I'm gonna put him in great. Anything Stokely does, I'm gonna watch it. Especially if it's on TV. Like I said, sorry, Ring of Honor. There's just so much wrestling to watch, man. All right, now we got Swerve Strickland. He was in NXT, part of Hit Row, after hanging out as like a singles guy for a little bit. Hit Row was pretty good in NXT. Now on the main roster, Hit Row is kind of just there to be there. They released Swerve. Why? I can't even tell you. But in AEW, he's been doing really good stuff. The Swerve in Our Glory tag team with Keith Lee. Again, I don't want to rant about that all over again. Fun tag team. Great matches. Why have they not had a one-on-one match? But Swerve has been doing way more than Keith Lee. He has this big own faction now, but it isn't like over bloated or like in our faces or terrible. You know, you got the two heavy tag guys with Gates of Agony. Brian Cage is really good, even though he's a little bit underused. Prince Nana, like I mentioned earlier, he's there. He's fun. And yeah, he's going to be at Wembley Stadium. He's got AR Fox with him now. He's like a vicious, like, I don't want to say like mob boss, but like he just feels like a villain, like a proper like bad guy. He's got like the coat. So yeah, I want to see Swerve win a championship. I don't know what title. Hell, it could be the tag titles with AR Fox. That could be cool. But I would like to see Swerve win a title and go on like a monster, like hell, even the AEW World title. I doubt he's gonna get his hands on that anytime soon, like anytime super soon. But I want him to keep up like the final boss, like this, like, oh, you can't touch me, I'm untouchable. Killer Instinct Swerve. Yeah, he's badass. Put him bottom of great because, like I said, the booking has been like but also what he's doing now is really good. So we'll keep him in great for right now. Put him above Stokely, a little bit above Jeff Jarrett, a little bit above Daddy Ass, right in the middle of great. All right, we got Taya Valkyrie. She was in NXT as Frankie Monet. That didn't really go anywhere. Then went back to, I believe, AAA and Independence. And she wrestled like all over the place. I think she's still wrestling all over the place. Now she's with AEW. Had a really, really fun match with Jade Cargill. I don't know why I call her like Cargill. I know there's no like D there. It's just Cargill, right? I don't know. Either way, fun TBS Championship match with Jade at Double or Nothing. Then Chris Statlander came out, beat Jade, and Taya's like, hey, I want a match. And they eventually did have a match, which she lost, but still very good stuff. Taya's very talented. She's still a bit new to AEW. I can't wait to see what she does next. I think she's kind of diving into the more heelish side. I don't even know where she's been the past couple of weeks. I don't think she's been on TV at all. I don't know. But either way, the stuff that she has done has been pretty good. But again, like kind of Johnny TV and Roderick Strong, it's still a bit early. So we'll put her in between Roddy and Morrison/TV. Now we have Ty Mello. Huge improvement. She was like huge underdog going into that TBS Championship match. Or not TBS Championship match. I believe it was AEW Championship against Britt Baker. I don't know what pay-per-view was at. I think it was against Britt Baker, though. I could be mistaken. But either way, yeah, she looked good in that match. Oh, wait, I believe it was Revolution 2022. Maybe. I might be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, she's improved a lot since her NXT days. She was like a big baby face for the women's division. She had a great match with Hikaru Shida on an episode of Dynamite. I remember watching that match and being like, damn, this is just like a banger women's match that they just decided to put on TV out of nowhere. Okay, cool. That was like mid-2021, I want to say. But yeah. And then they kind of turned her heel because she was paired up with Sammy Guevara. And, you know, them as a couple, people weren't really caring for it. And they're like, I don't want it. And so that kind of took her down a bit and then got booed. And so it's like kind of unfair. But then they like dove into it. Part of the JAS. I don't know if that group's going to disband or not totally right now. But yeah. She's been doing some great stuff. She's pregnant right now. She's going to have her baby. I don't even know, but she'll probably be off TV for a while. But the stuff she was doing and is doing in AEW is still pretty good. And I think better than the stuff she was doing in NXT. Better than the stuff she probably would have been doing on the main roster if she moved up in like 2019 or whatever, 2020. So I'd say top of fine. Maybe slightly under Ruby, slightly under Matt Hardy. I think that's a good spot for her. We're going to move on to Taz. commentator role, but when he first showed up, he was Team Taz. He had Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Hook. That was fun. I love Taz on commentary. I digress. Very funny. Him singing the AEW wrestlers theme songs every now and then, very funny. The real serious sort of role / reaction he had to Jungle Boy taking the FTW title away from Hook and turning heel on him, that was good stuff. Taz, he could be an actor if he wanted to. I'm not gonna lie, he's got the skills. But I love Taz. It's hard for me not to love Taz. I've enjoyed everything he's done in AEW. Team Taz was a bit meh at times, but other than that, he's been great on commentary. I hope he's on commentary for years and years. I'm going to put him in best. I don't know if that's controversial or if anybody feels any differently, but I'm going to put Taz in the best. I think he's great at commentary, and he just makes the product a little bit more fun to watch. Him and Excalibur are the perfect commentary duo, in my opinion. We're going to move on to Toni Storm. She's been killing it. Almost the same thing as Jamie Hayter, except Jamie Hayter is more of a hidden gem, rising to the top, being wow, she's actually really good, isn't she? Toni Storm, we knew she was good. Left WWE because of kind of the stories and stuff she was put into, is getting pie thrown at her. It's what the hell? But yeah, I get why she wanted to leave. Killed it in AEW. I believe she's a 2-time AEW Women's Champion. Had a great run with it, but was interim champion. But then they changed it to it was an actual title run. But yeah, she is probably the shining star of the Outcast. Each week now, recently, she's been doing kind of I don't know what to call it, but the out of her prime actress shtick, where am I not talented anymore or something like that? And she's been killing it there. And just everything she's done, I think she's been doing really good. So Toni Storm is probably going to go in best. I think just a tiny bit under Jamie Hayter. I think Jamie Hayter has still been the rising star power of Jamie Hayter versus the established star that we knew was probably going to do some great things in AEW. So yeah, both of them very similar reasons why I think they deserve to go in the best tier. And now we're going to move on. We got 2 left. We got Tony Nese. He's got abs for days. That's his gimmick. That's been his gimmick for a while. He points at him. He's hey, look at my abs. Haha. He's not featured too much, and when he is, he's probably going to lose. But I like Tony Nese. I mentioned in a video, I think it was another AEW tier list I did, the one from a month ago. On the first or second episode of Collision, they had the thing where everybody get out of your seats. First off, we're going to start with some stretching, and they were going to try to get all the fat fans in the shape, and that was pretty funny. I wish he would be on TV doing that more. I think he's mainly on Ring of Honor right now, so if he's doing it there, then keep it up. But I like Tony Nese. I knew he wasn't going to be anything too huge when he got to AEW. Similar boat as Daivari, except something. I feel like Tony Nese gets featured a bit more. I know he was Bryan's hometown opponent when Bryan Danielson was in Seattle earlier this year. I think that was the start of him challenging MJF for the World Championship. So that means they got some faith in him to be, Bryan Danielson's hometown opponent, that match. You gotta be pretty special guy to be in that match. So, could it be going better? Yeah, sure. Yeah, anybody that's more on a lower card level could be doing better. But I think what he's been put up to do has been good. I hope he gets to do a little bit more. So I'll put him slightly under Jake Hager. Like I said, for Roddy, Taya, and Johnny TV, it's still a bit early. They've only been there for not even half a year. So yeah. Alright, and finally, to end off the video, we got someone who's not even in AEW anymore. We have Vicky Guerrero. I low-key thought this was a solid addition to AEW. Brought out Andrade. That's, it was a bit of a oof, kind of okay kind of situation. But still, I think the pairing between her and Andrade was kind of good, actually. I thought if they did a bit more with it, it could have worked. But yeah, whatever. I think she was with Nyla Rose before the Andrade thing. She was kind of the manager for her and Marina Shafir. Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir kind of made an okay women's tag team with Vicky Guerrero there. I think Vicky Guerrero actually got to do something in El Paso. They were doing a match in El Paso, Texas about a year ago, I think. And she got to do a mini spear or something to someone on the outside, and the crowd went nuts for it. So that was cool to see her get a moment there. But she's not with the company anymore. which kind of sucks. I think she would have been a nice little addition for the company. So yeah, not really much to say about Vicky. I don't think she really got to do too much on TV, mainly on Dark with Nyla and Marina. So I think, I'll put her in, could be better. I think she could have had a better run with AEW, but I think what she did was okay. But yeah, there's your list. There's your tier list. In the best, all the WWE stars that went to AEW. That's the tier list. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all Friday for AEW All In predictions. I don't know what's going to be coming out Sunday, but whatever does come out Sunday or doesn't come out Sunday, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.